Hey everybody, it's me, Stacy, here at Scrapbooking Made Simple, and it's time for our next YouTube class. Now we are on YouTube number 138, and I do apologize for it taking so long to get another YouTube out to you, but here it is. Now before we get to what I have to show you today, I do have winner chicken dinner. I have winners from the last YouTube number 137 where I showed off paper leather from Sizzix in conjunction with my Simply Defined dies, the release for November, which was Growing Up Girl. I also have winners from Facebook postings, and I will list those winners in the Facebook posting. So if you're seeing this on Facebook, you might want to scroll down to see if you've won a full collection of my next release of Simply Defined dies and stamps, which is what I'm showing you today. But first, let's talk about the winners from 137. And way to go, girlfriends! You have won a beautiful collection of paper leather from Sizzix, and maybe some pins or something I'll throw in so you can color it. Now, if you are Johnny Eisenberg, if you're Joni, either way, you're gonna love me because I'm gonna give it to you for free. So if you're Joni Eisenberg, congratulations! You are one of our winners from YouTube number 137. I also have, I love this person's first name, Annabelle. I love Annabelle. Annabelle Castro. Congratulations, you've won too. A lovely collection of products from the very last YouTube, which showed paper leather, inking it a dozen different ways, and then also throwing in some of my Simply Defined dies and stamps. But we'll get you some wonderful paper leather, and if you haven't got it already, well, you've got something new to play with. How are you going to collect your prizes? It is so easy. You're going to email us at winner, WINNER, at scrapbookingmadesimple.com. You're going to give us your name, your address, telephone number, and say, I am YouTube number 137, winner chicken dinner. Wahoo! Now, if you want to be a winner, super easy. Watch the video. Please watch it in its entirety. That way I get bonus points for you being on YouTube longer. And then post a comment. The comments are moderated only because I don't need to know that I need Botox or you weren't happy with my color of lipstick. So as long as you're not saying anything about that, I will approve your comments. Your comments can be, have yourself a merry little Christmas. Your comments can be, my first grandbaby is celebrating their first Christmas. It can be anything that's kind and polite, and I will approve it. And then you are eligible to win a prize in our next YouTube. That's when I will announce it. So we've got a lot going on, and one of the reasons why I'm so long in having a YouTube is my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer shortly after my dad passed away. Whatever. I don't even want to go there. I was like, really? But she had surgery on Friday, and she is doing well. Now we have to wait to see. They took her lymph nodes, they took the lump. We have to wait for them to stage the cancer and decide if we have to go further treatments like chemotherapy or radiation, or if she's done. God willing, she's done. And so it's been a little bit of a mess trying to get everything done. So I appreciate your understanding and all of your prayers. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. I do believe in the power of prayer, and I do believe that, God willing, she'll be done. Now, it's 5 days before Christmas, and I haven't done any Christmas shopping yet. Not a single thing, not one. So when this YouTube is done, I am going to be off Christmas shopping. I hope all of you are getting ready for a wonderful, happy holiday. It's going to be a little weird this year without my dad, but if my mom's okay, then it's going to be a great year. Now, I was thinking a lot about my mom, and I used to take her to the shows with me, CHA and Memory Trends, when they had Memory Trends. These are shows for retailers like me who would go and buy all their products for the year, see all the new products coming out. So all of the major manufacturers were there, and they show you all the new stuff. In fact, I'm leaving for CHA in just a few weeks again. And Mom, when she was able to, for the longest time, she would travel with all of us SMS girls, and we would go have a great time, and she would walk up and down the booths with me, and she would look at all the new product with me. And I was thinking about Mom, and a couple weeks ago I had talk to her about the new foil craze, because it seems that foil is everywhere. And I kept saying, you know, I'm just not so sure if I want to do this laminator thing. I don't know yet. I have to decide. I'm still playing with it. And she said, well, what about that stuff I saw at CHA? And first off, okay, for me, first off, I did a double take. It's like, okay, because she has dementia. So it's like, well, yes, Mom, you used to go to CHA. What stuff are you talking about? And she said, that pearl stuff. And I said, pearl stuff? And she said, yes, that pearl stuff. And then it dawned on me. My mom and I sat at the Ranger booth for probably 2 hours one day, 10 years ago, when Perfect Pearl was kind of a, you know, more of a newer thing. And where she extracted that from her memory, I have absolutely no idea. But by George, the woman was right. So I love the foil look, but a lot of us already have Perfect Pearls in our arsenal. And for some of you, you've never seen Perfect Pearl before, and this is going to be, you're going to have an aha moment when you see how to use it. And I'm going to show you a couple different ways to use it. This isn't just a typical Perfect Pearl YouTube. And in addition to that, I'm going to be showing you my brand new Simply Defined collection of dies and stamps called Love Story. Now, Love Story is definitely Valentine's inspired, but certainly not limited to Valentine's. I really wanted dies that you could use for so many other things, but I wanted them to have a romantic feel to them. So thanks to Mom, we're going to be doing Perfect Pearls today. And if you've seen Perfect Pearls, stay tuned. You may have not known you can do some of the things that you can do with them. They're really a wonderful way to use a medium. And if you love the foils out there, but can't necessarily afford to get into them, Perfect Pearls is a great alternative because there is so much you can do with it, and it does look like foil when you're done with it, and it is beautiful. And they start at, I don't know, $2.99 a bottle. So you can have a whole bunch of it for not a lot of money. So we are going to start for today. Don't forget to post your comment. Merry Christmas to all of you, and a big shout out to all of you who have sent cards and have added us to your prayer circles. And I have one customer, I need to have it handy because I need to show it to you. Her husband made the most beautiful pink pen, writing pen, where he took the material and he hollowed it out and he made this magnificent pen, all in breast cancer. It's in pink with the breast cancer little bling ribbon, and it's the most beautiful thing. And I want her to know, if hopefully she watches my YouTubes, I want her to know that when I checked my mom into the hospital and I had to sign everything, that's the pen I used to sign Mom in and out of the hospital. So thank you so very much. I'm taking it to CHA with me, and it is my new favorite thing. All right, so I've got a lot to do today. I'm going to tilt down and we're going to get started. And I think, let me pull the collection, the dies we're going to start with, actually the stamps we're going to start with today. And down we go. Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy holidays. Okay, so I think that's pretty good. What do you think? Yeah, that looks pretty good. All right, so I have my new release of Simply Defined dies and stamps, and it's called Love Story. This is one of the sets in the collection. It does a lot. You get all the dies, all the stamps, and really we try to keep it as affordable as possible. So the whole set, including the stamps, is only $13.99 unless you buy all 6 sets in the bundle. Don't buy them individually because then you're going to pay $13.99, $13.99, $13.99. But if you buy the bundle, the I Want It All bundle, it brings each set down to $10 for a total of $60. Now the Spellbinder Warehouse sale is over. You're seeing this on Monday. That would be the soonest you're going to see this because today's Sunday and I'm taping it. That means these will ship to you within 30 days. We're back to our 30-day time frame on shipping. And again, there's a background die, there's a decor die, there are stamps to coordinate, there's words, there's the die for the words. But I want to get into it and I want to show you. Now I'm going to start with Perfect Pearls, and some of you may not have any idea what a Perfect Pearl is. this is it. It's this little jar of mica powder. And certainly Ranger isn't the only company that makes something like this. There's several companies. And the techniques that I'm using would probably work with any of the mica powders that you have. So I know Finnabar? I know from Prima has some. I would think maybe Lindy's. I don't know too much, but it's not the only company. But it is the one we sell because we love Ranger products. So, the first thing I want to tell you is, really important. And I know I've mentioned this before, and I don't know if they have it fixed or not because these are my personal bottles of Perfect Pearl. Sometimes the information on the bottle is on the bottom, and sometimes it's on the top. Be careful. Don't just assume because it's on the top, the opening is on the top. If I open this up right now, it's going to spill everywhere because the top is actually, it doesn't have any of the writing. So look before you open, and see, I spilled some of it, but I've got my glitter cleanup cloth, my handy dandy glitter cleanup cloth, and ta-da, it's all gone. So Perfect Pearls is this great little powder. It goes a long way for your $2.99, and it comes in about 30 colors. It's blendable. You can make it into a paint. I'm going to show you all the many different things you can do with it, but I want to start just basic, just really fast and basic for those of you who have never seen Perfect Pearls before. I have my Versamark. This is a Versamark pad. It is a water stamp pad. You can use it for your embossing, your heat embossing, to stamp with, throw your embossing powder down and then heat it. Versamark is a great tool. It's by Sukaniko. Everybody should have this because if you do any kind of watermarking or heat embossing with embossing powders, or you like the Perfect Pearls, you're going to want it. And it's very inexpensive, and you can buy the refills so you never buy the pad again. Yes, that is my pad. It is as awful as can be. I have had this for going on probably 8 years. I am not gonna get a new one. It works just fine. So I just keep refilling it with the re-inker. I don't need a new pretty pad. It's just this works beautifully. So if yours looks like that, well then it's well loved. That's what we say, it's well loved. Now I have taken the stamps that come with my set. Let's see, on a white piece of paper. The stamps that come with my set, the set that I'm showing you, are right here. You've got thoughts of you, you've got the 2 hearts, you've got congratulations, and you've got some smaller hearts. So those are the stamps I'm going to be working with, and they coordinate, they all come in the same package, so the dies and the stamps come together. I have got my first stamp, which is this one, white piece of paper. This one right here. That's the one I'm going to be playing with for a little bit, and then I'll move over to this one. So I've got my piece of paper, I've got my stamp mat, because we need to have some gush. I need to stamp into something so it sinks in and it makes a really good contact with my paper. Now our stamp mats are huge, and they're $3.99, but if we ship it to you, we cut it in half. So, and it says that online, so if you don't want one cut in half, you're going to have to go find a stamp mat. Locally, and a lot of your local retailers should sell it, and if they don't, you should tell them to sell it. But if you're okay with us cutting it in half, because it literally is almost the size of my mat here, so we cut it in half so it fits in the shipping envelope. I have got my Versamark, I've got my clear stamp, my Simply Defined clear stamp clings to my Tim Holtz grid block. Love my Tim Holtz grid block because they're not too thick. I can feel how hard I'm pressing. I have got my Simply Defined paper. This is an 80-pound white smooth paper. It is our smooth paper, and my stamp mat. I'm going to ink up my stamp, what I call inking up, although Versamark is clear, so you can't necessarily see it. I'm going to press right down on my paper. I am not going to do chest compressions. We're not trying to revive the stamp. We want nice all over pressure, but because you have this stamp mat, this gush pad down here, you don't have to press so hard. If I was pressing into a hard table, then you're not going to get as good of contact with the paper because the stamp has nothing to sink into. All right, now, I don't know if I can get a watermark image on the camera, but right here, Maybe you can see it. There is the heart. This is where Perfect Pearl comes in. It is a dry powder. Oh, I hate it when we have fire trucks go by, but we're on a main street here in Canyon Country, so that happens. I've got just a nice brush. We sell the brushes. It's a value pack. You can use almost any paintbrush that you want at home. It just needs to have a nice soft tip. I'm gonna dip into my Perfect Pearl, and I'm just gonna dot it, kind of where my heart is. And when you're at home, you're gonna be able to see where your watermark is. So I just kind of dot it. See how that's done? Nothing too fancy. And then with a very light touch, I'm gonna move it over my stamped image. I'm not pressing hard. I'm using a very, very light touch just to move that powder over that Versamark so that it clings to where that Versamark left from the stamp, where it was left from the stamp. And then I'm going to take a fluff brush. And this is a $1 e.l.f. brush. Now, Walmart carries these, Target carries these. I wouldn't spend much more than $1 on it because you don't have to. And I'm gonna take and I'm gonna rub, or I'm gonna just dust off the balance of my Perfect Pearl. And what I have is this beautiful, can you see how it's got that foil to it? That beautiful foiled look to it without necessarily using a foil. Love foils, I love my reflections, but you can't use my reflections with a stamp. Here I've stamped and I've got that beautiful look. Absolutely gorgeous. But what happens if you want to use more than one color? Okay, we can do that. Let's get our stamp back out. Let's put our Versamark back on it. Let's go ahead and stamp another heart. Again, nice all over pressure, but we're not going to do chest compressions. We're not trying to revive the stamp. What happens when you push too hard is you push the stamp out and it kind of gets squishy and sometimes a little blurry. So you know you're pushing too hard if when you pull back, your image is kind of spread a little bit. All right. So our watermark is there. I can see it. I don't know if you can, but I can. And this time I'm going to take a little bit of my red Perfect Pearl. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to just dot in a few places the red. And then I'm going to dot in a few places the gold. So it really doesn't look like a whole bit of much, does it? Looks like nothing. It looks like a mess. But when I lightly start to move it over my image, that's when the magic happens. Move it right over my image. And then take my fluff brush and I have got my beautiful pearl, Perfect Pearl heart there. Only I've got gold and I've got red blended together. Now, of course, I could take really quickly the die that goes with this set, because all my sets come, if they have matching stamps, it comes with the matching stamp. And I could bring it right on over. I am not going to be using my precision base plate right now because I am using a open die, a frame die. It's not an intricate die. Let me just push these out of the way so I don't run them over. have got there, I've got there, line this up because I'm on my magnetic platform. Put on another clear plate, my do not cut plate, and send it on through. And there it is with Perfect Pearl. That is how easy Perfect Pearl is to use. I could certainly cut this one out too and make a beautiful embellishment. But it gives you that stunning look of foil without actually using foil. It's lovely. And most of us have it because it's been around for quite some time. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's been around. So if you've got it already, why not pull it out and use it up? All right, I'm gonna put that one to the side. Now I'm gonna pull a piece of black paper because Perfect Pearl also looks gorgeous on black paper, as does any foil. I'm gonna bring my stamp back over, and again, really quickly, for those of you who have already seen it, I'm gonna ink up my stamp. I'm gonna bring my gush. I'm gonna bring my black paper, which is my Simply Defined 80-pound smooth black. I'm going to stamp on it. No chest compressions. Pull up. Oh, there you can see the watermark really good. Okay, wahoo kachoo on that. I remember when my mom and I first saw these, we were like mesmerized. When we were it was at a Memory Trends show, and that used to be in Las Vegas. And my mom's not a crafter, but I remember her sitting there watching. We were at that Ranger booth forever. You know what, let's use these two colors. I'm gonna grab a little bit of a light blue and a little bit of what they call sour apple. I'm gonna dip into my blue. Now my brush is not wet, this is dry. I'm not using any water at all. And I'm just gonna dip, grab some of the green. Oh, I got a lot going on. You know what, I think I'm gonna stamp one more time. Just because I've got so much there, I don't wanna waste it. I'll do an extra stamp down here. There we go. Take my brush, again, dry tip, and with the lightest pressure, light, 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 light. Think soft, think marshmallows, think clouds, think snowflakes. Very light pressure. You're just trying to move the powder around. And then take my flush brush, and I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of move it on down to my other heart and put some of it there, just because I can. I wanna use it up. Light, 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 so happy, so light. And then you take your brush and really give it a good brushing to get all that excess off. Oh, so pretty. And do you get the metallic from it? It is a way to use an inexpensive product that Ranger has made and take your stamps to a whole new level and incorporate the big craze on foil. And of course I could take let's move that over there real quick. Let's put my lids on. I could absolutely take my heart, put my machine here, put my paper there. I'm on my magnetic platform, so I'm able to line it right exactly where I want it to be. Put my do not cut plate right on the top. Oh, I moved it when I put my do not cut plate. and send it on through. Now you don't have to die cut it out if you don't want to. You could do this on a card front and you don't have to use the die cut at all. Move them out of my way. And oh, so pretty. If you can get your kids to do a very light touch, this is a great craft for kids because it's not messy. Okay, and I've got my glitter cleanup cloth. If you don't have one of these yet, you really should get one. Not only does it clean up glitter and embossing powder, it cleans up Perfect Pearl and just about everything else. It's a huge sheet. This is just a swatch of it. It's enormous. So, and I think they're like $4.99. All right, so there you go, Perfect Pearl, very basic. That's how most people use Perfect Pearl. But I want to take it to the next level. What happens if I want to paint with it? I can do that. I could take my stamp and I could ink it up with my Versamark. And I could stamp right on it, just like we've done. Nice pressure, but no chest compressions. Pull up. I can see my watermark on it. Let's take the gold. Dry brush. Take it right over. Put some dots on there. And then very lightly, and you will see the image starting to come up as you're going over. All of a sudden that image will appear where it wasn't before, which is the aha moment, because you're just like it's just beautiful. And you can't believe it was that simple to do, but it really was that simple to do. Okay, so I've got it, and look at, I used hardly any, and I wasted hardly any. That's wonderful. That's what you really want to do, is waste as little as possible. You can always add more if you have a bare spot, but it's really hard to put it back into the container once you've taken it out, especially if you're blending colors. Give it a really good brush to get all the excess off. So I've got my gold little heart. But this is where water comes in. You can get Perfect Pearl wet and paint with it. But I'm not there. No, we've got so much to do. Many of you might have seen this too, where you take a little bit of water. I'm on my craft mat. Put a little bit of water down on my craft mat. Oh, I've got a little gold mixed in there. That's okay. You guys don't mind if it's a little bit of gold. A little bit of water, a little bit of my Perfect Pearl on my wet brush, and make it into a paste over here. And how thick of a paste or how thick of a paint is entirely up to you. The thicker it is, the more intense or strong the color will be, or the more opaque the color will be. The more watery it is, the thinner the color will be. And then I'm just going to go in here. And in my little flower, see my little flower there? I'm just going to paint some of my color. Because you can paint with it. And you see I haven't reloaded my brush. There's no reason to. It'll be loaded for quite some time. But I can go in there and just paint my flowers. And make it beautiful. And when it dries, that paint, that red paint will also dry to a beautiful metallic. It really will. But I know there are some of you who say, okay, I'm not a painter. That's really fine detail. I couldn't necessarily do that. All right, well, then let's do something different. Let's paint our whole sheet of paper. Let's paint our whole sheet of paper. Let's get a little more water, a little more perfect pearl, and paint our paper. But maybe you want more than one color. All right, well, let's get a little water and put some water over here. Let's get some of the red out. I'm just dipping it into my water to get some of my red out. Let's get a little water, put it over here. Let's get a little bit of gold and mix it into my water. And let's put some of that up top here. And I'm just going to blend that in to my red. Because maybe you are not necessarily the best painter and you don't want to sit there and paint each little rose in. Totally get it. Let's paint our paper. And you can see I'm going back and forth between the two colors, and I'm not necessarily cleaning my brush because I want those colors to blend together. A little bit darker red down towards the bottom. A little bit more intense. So I have painted my paper metallic. Can you see that? Ooh! Now I need to let this dry. I need to let it dry before I use it. So I'm just gonna set it aside, and by the power of the magic of TV, instant presto, there I have one. All dry. Now what am I gonna do? Well, I think I'm gonna ink up my, let's try the different stamp. Let's try our other one. Here we go. I'm going to put my stamp on my Tim Holtz grid block. I could ink it with Memento and stamp on it. I could ink it with the Versamark, which I think is what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna ink this one right up. Oop, took it right off the base. Ink it right up. And I'm gonna put it right on top of my painted perfect pearl. And give a good press. Now there should be a watermark there. I'm going to take, let's try cappuccino. I don't know what this is going to look like. It's going to be a surprise for all of us. With my dry brush, I'm going to take my cappuccino. And I'm going to dust it all the way around my heart. So if you don't want to sit there and paint, totally get it. I've added my detail with my cappuccino perfect pearl. Hope you can see it. I'm going to move this aside, move that aside, bring my Big Shot machine back over, move these aside, put my lids on because I'm notorious for spilling. Put my die on. My do not cut plate. So I've got my magnetic platform. My magnetic platform's on the bottom. I've got a clear plate. I've got my paper. I've got my die. And now I'm going to send it on through. Because maybe you don't want to sit there and, oh, I don't know, paint each individual leaf and petal. Pop it out. And I am good to go. And the foil is just, the metallic is absolutely beautiful on it. I have one here in blue, and I think I'm going to ink up one more time with my Versamark. Grab my stamp mat, stamp right on it. The blue has already been painted and dried. Give a good press, nice even pressure. pull up. And then let's take the gold. And again, I'm working with the dry powder. This is a dry powder. You get this beautiful foiled look from a dry powder. And then mix them with the Simply Defined stamps and dies, the Love Story collection, and it's just beautiful. Oh yeah, this one's coming out wonderful. Love, love, love. So let me show you where I'm at. Can you see how the flower is starting to come out because I stamped on top of the dry Perfect Pearl? Very light touch. And then your little fluff brush. Get rid of all the excess. Can you see? I know with the metallic it's kind of hard, but man, that looks great. Let's die cut it out because we can. Bring over my machine, my Big Shot machine. Move these out of my way so I don't spill them. So now we've used the Perfect Pearl both wet and dry. You can use it as a paint. You can paint your white flowers with it. You can use your stamps with it, and it gives you that yummy foiled look that is such the rage without actually having to get into the foils. And if many of you already have Perfect Pearls, you may have forgotten that not only can you use them as a dry material. Oh my gosh, that's so pretty. That really is just so pretty. What a gorgeous embellishment on something. Love, love, love. Easy to do. You could emboss it with embossing powder and then color it with your Perfect Pearls. There is so much to be done, but I'm not done yet. So we've shown you how to just use them just as basic Perfect Pearls come. Ooh, I can't pick it up. Come on. Just as a basic Perfect Pearl on either black or white, and really it does look best on black or white. You can use it whether you die cut it out or you're just using a big beautiful background stamp. Whatever you're using, it's going to look magnificent. But what if you don't want to use the stamps? What if you want to use some of the dies? That's okay, we can do that. Remember, my sets come with usually a background die and a decorator die, and then all the stamps that coordinate with it, and then dies for words generally. So I am going to take Stacy tape. What? Yes, I'm going to take Stacy tape. You know what? I think I'll use a little bit bigger piece. Is that going to be wide enough? Oh, by the hair of my chinny chin chin. Oh, maybe this is wider. Oh yeah. I'm going to take Stacy tape. This is my self-adhesive tape, and we sell it in widths from 1/8 of an inch all the way up to 6 inches. It is longer, it is stronger, and it is less expensive than Sukwang tape that we used to sell. Do I not love Sukwang tape anymore? No, of course I love it. It's a great product, but when you can give a customer something that's longer, stronger, and less money, well, that's what you want to do. I'm going to take my Stacy tape and I'm going to put it right onto a piece of my white cardstock. And I could have used the 80 pound, I could have used the 100 pound, it's whatever you like. And if you've got smooth white cardstock at home, well then by all means use yours up before you go and buy Simply Defined. If you've already got it, use what you've got, which is one of the reasons I wanted to do the Perfect Pearl, because so many people have them. And my mom remembered it. That was just a moment, I have to tell you. Now, well, I think I'm going to cut those ends off. That way my faux pas from the last one where they stuck to my plates, I'm gonna take care of that right now and just cut those ends off to get rid of the excess sticky. And yes, I heard all of you going, no, don't do that, but it was too late. I had already done it. Oh well. Okay, so I have Stacy tape on a piece of just white, smooth cardstock. Beautiful, smooth cardstock. Now I can take my color with my dry brush and put it straight onto my tape. No Versamark needed, no extra anything special. I'm just putting it straight onto my tape. This allows you a very easy way of using your dies that are very intricate, because when I cut this die, it's really very intricate. So it's almost easier to put the perfect pearl on before you cut it than trying to add it after you've cut it. And if you've got Sukwang tape, absolutely this is going to work without question. If you've got Stacy tape, you bet this is gonna work, no problem. So I'm just putting my powder on. I'm thinking that might be enough. A little bit more, just to be sure. And I am just painting it right onto the adhesive. Now I could mix my colors, I could add gold to this. I just am doing the red for right now. Okay, then I'm going to take, and you know what, I'm gonna cut this. Let's just make sure we're gonna fit. Oh yeah, easy peasy. I'm gonna cut this. Put that aside, maybe we might use that later. I'm gonna take my brush. I'm gonna brush off the excess just like we've been doing. And I've got a beautiful piece of foil. Man, you could take your card bases, your cards, and you could run Stacy tape as a border around your cards and then add your perfect pearl and then mat your whatever on top of it so it looked like you had this foiled behind. Oh yeah, easy to do, especially with the Stacy tape. Again, no Versamark needed, nothing. Now I'm gonna die cut it. And because the perfect pearl is on there, it's not sticky anymore, so I can do that. But this is an intricate die. So what does that mean I'm gonna do? It means I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pull over my precision base plate. Now, I am using my precision base plate on top of my magnetic platform. Does Sizzix recommend this? No. Am I gonna do it anyway? Yes. It is. There's always a chance that you could break the magnet in your magnetic platform. I have never seen that happen. I have never had it happen. Does that mean theoretically it can't happen? No, it means it can. But I am willing to take the risk just because I've got my magnetic platform here. I'm good to go. I want to do this. All right. So I've got my magnetic platform or your multi-purpose platform completely closed, your precision base plate with the metal side up. If I can read the instructions of my precision base plate, I am doing it wrong. Don't read, if you can read the instructions, stop. Stop, because it's wrong. You need to have the metal side up. And what's gonna happen is that die is gonna grit into that metal and it's gonna force that cut on something a little more intricate. I have got my paper with my Stacy tape that now has perfect pearl on it. I have got the die out of my collection, and this set is called A Rose is a Rose from Love Story, and I am going to send it on through. Now this is a pretty small die, so it's gonna cut on the first time. But if you were concerned, if you were worried that it didn't cut all the way through for whatever reason, all you have to do is turn the die. See how it's vertical right now? Turn the die 90 degrees and then roll it back. And that's going to ensure that the roller in your Big Shot machine is going to hit all the sweet spots. You're going to get that die covered. It's going to hit all the sweet spots on the roller and cut beautifully. And every machine is a little bit different. Some people's sweet spots are on the end. Some of it's in the middle. It just depends. But between the precision base plate for intricate dies and rolling it, I do want to tell you, if I were to leave it vertical, rolling it back and forth, not moving the die, isn't going to help you any. You have to actually turn the die some so that the wheel, the roller here, hits it slightly differently. I'll have people come in and they say, well, I rolled it back through 14 times and it still didn't cut. That's because the pressure points on the roller here are hitting the exact same place on the die. Usually once they bring it in and I roll it through once and then do a quarter turn and roll it through again, it's like butter. Like butter. And they're like, oh! Okay, so now I'm gonna pop this bad boy off. Grab my little tweezers and pull it out. Now again, this is a really intricate die. But it is so pretty. And I have taken a die and used Perfect Pearl with it. Is that gorgeous? It was easier to put the Perfect Pearl on the tape and then die cut versus die cutting and then adding Versamark to something that's so fine and so delicate and then trying to get it all on there beautifully. Now I could take my, let's pop this guy off. I could take my heart die. I've got my cut plate, piece of black paper on my magnetic platform, even though, there we go, and 2 clear plates. My do not cut on the top, send it on through. This will be a 1-pass cut because this is a frame style die. Oh, come on, there we go. Move that right out of my way. I have got my little heart that popped right out. And you have got this gorgeous foiled, beautiful rose heart using something you may already have in your craft room. They're just beautiful. Perfect Pearl is so easy to use, and we tried to make the Simply Defined collections universal. While this is absolutely inspired by Valentine's Day, it is certainly not the only thing you can use these for, by no means. And then I've got the little pieces left in here. I'm just gonna pop those out and they're gonna come right out. Now, if you were like me, you may want to, you could go in there and put a double piece of tape on there and pull them out so that they stayed together, and then put Perfect Pearl a different color on it. Oh, there's just so much you could play with and do. Really, there's just a lot that can be done. And the Simply Defined Dies, the Love Story collection, just really gives you an opportunity to have romantic and beautiful. So for Mother's Day, for weddings, for baby showers, they're just at little girls' birthdays, whatever you want, they're just so, anniversaries, they're so pretty. So what did we do? Really easy. First we started with our Perfect Pearl. We used our Versamark. We just inked up a stamp. Well, we inked up my rose stamp, which I happen to love. We stamped it right on our white Simply Defined paper. We grabbed a dry brush and we just dusted it right over. Light touch, light touch. We did it on white paper, we did it on black paper. That's where we're at. But then once you dust it off, that's what you're left with, this beautiful foiled image. And then you could have gotten it wet if you wanted and made a paste out of your color and gone in there and painted it. But if you don't want to be that fussy, you could have just gotten your paper painted your paper completely. And then put your perfect pearl, stamped your image on it with your Versamark and put your perfect pearl right over it. Or you can die cut with it, and you don't need anything special except for a little bit of Stacy tape, because that Stacy tape is going to hold that perfect pearl beautifully for you, and it's going to let you use your dies to make something metallic-y and foily and beautiful. My goodness, and when it dries, it's so pretty. So you can just go in there and paint away, and when it dries, you've got this beautiful, magnificent, majestic almost looking finish to it. Really pretty. So that is Perfect Pearls, and hopefully it showed you a little more than you knew before. And if you've never seen them before, for $2.99, all the different things you can do with these is wonderful. It gives you an incredible amount of options, beautiful, beautiful options, because you can use them wet and you can use them dry. And if you're a new crafter, this is a great way to feel really accomplished because you just take a stamp, and then mix your colors of Perfect Pearl. That's probably my favorite thing to do, is to actually mix the colors of Perfect Pearl to where it's just gorgeous. I love the mixing of the colors. It makes me so happy. Let's see if I can stamp this one really quick and get some really different colors so you can see how different when you mix colors that are far apart from each other, contrary colors, opposite colors, how magnificent it looks. So there we go. And let's say we use a little bit of, well, let's use the blue and the red, because those are contradicting colors. They are not in the same color family. And I'm going to dab a little bit of my red. And then I'm going to dab a little bit of my blue. And then I'm going to kind of blend them, very light touch. Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh, see, a lot of this stuff I don't see until you see it. I just grab what's in front of me and we go. Yummy. Okay, let's dust it all the way off. Isn't that yummy? That's blue and red. Colors that are on the opposite ends of the spectrum, kind of. And, well, I think they pretty much are on the opposite ends of the spectrum. But look at how fabulous they look together on that black paper. Oh my gosh, that's absolutely gorgeous. And then I could die cut the shape out because I have the die that coordinates with it, because that's how Simply Defined dies and stamps are. You get it all in one package. All right, so we have shown you a lot with Perfect Pearl. Again, I think there's 32 colors. We will do an I Want It All for them. We are back to our 30-day shipping time frame, which means you will have this relatively soon. The Spellbinder Warehouse sale is over, but I haven't even begun to show you all the different things that Simply Defined the rest of the release. So let me get to that really quick, because I'm sure you would like to see what else comes in the collection. Okay, so we did this one. This is the one we did today. And this is A Rose is a Rose. And then here is some of the things you can do with just this one set. All of these came out of the one set. The frame you can do, the beautiful stamping on it. Here's the detail die. Here's the detail die with stamping on it. Here it is out of reflections. Here's just the background. The stamps, that is all out of just one die. Then on top of it is what I'm calling Juliet. This rose. as a background. Is that gorgeous? This is my rose, and we're calling it Juliet. It does not come with a die set. It's a background die, so there it is. And it's lovely. There it is out of reflections. There it is out of glimmer sheets. And here it is out of bedazzled paper, all simply defined papers. So that's Juliet. Then we have my corner dies, which are right here. And these are called Romeo. So we have Romeo and Juliet. And you get all the corners, you get the dies to make the corners. And what I tried to do is give you pieces that you could either stamp or die cut, because we've got them stamped and we've got them die cut with the stamp on it, that you could then decorate your corners with if you wanted. You could use the corners just by themselves, or you can use the little flowers and hearts to add as embellishments, or you could just stamp with them. And that is Romeo. Then we have Faith, Hope, and Love. That's this collection right here. And I did the same thing with this one. First, you've got all of these pieces that were cut out of just one collection. This is just one set. All the stamped images, all of that is just one set. But I gave you a little rose there that you can then decorate the heart wreath with. Or you could grab the pieces from the collection up top, the Romeo collection, and use those to just pop on top of your heart wreath. But look at all that you get from the frame to the background with the frame with the shadow on it to the decorator die. So much packed in there, and the stamps. And again, they don't have to necessarily be for Valentine's Day. All right, and the last two. First off is Together. It is a background die. It does not come with a stamp. Here it is on Vintage Glam. Here it is on Bedazzled, and here it is on Glimmer Sheets. I love this one. This has been very, very popular, this one, as has been my Raindrops on Roses frame. So with the frame, not only do you get the frame, but you get that center die, this die right here. So if you want to leave it whole where the center is in there, because you want to stamp on it, you can. But we've given you the die to cut the center piece out. So if you want to pop that center piece, if you want to take it out because you've got something behind it, you can. And it comes with the die that says Raindrops on Roses. Love this one too. Love, love, love. So you've got Raindrops on Roses. You have got Together. You have got Romeo. You've got Faith, Love, Hope. And the last two sets, we've got A Rose is a Rose, which is the one we played with today. Look at all of that in one. And you've got Juliet. Those are the 6 in the collection. They're $13.99 a set unless you buy all 6 sets, and then they're $10 per set for a total of $60. Now, of course, I've got about 1 million samples to get through because the girls did an amazing job. The SMS design team is fabulous. I want to get through them so you can see them. They're gorgeous. Let's see if I can move this over here just a little bit. This one is by Michelle. She took Together and she separated it so she could make a gatefold card. This is a thank you card from a wedding. This is a wedding invitation all by itself. It's lovely. So that's Michelle. Then we have, oh, this is Michelle too. This is Juliet. No, Juliet. Oh, now I'm getting, no, yes, Juliet. So that's the roses and Juliet. And she shadowed them. She cut it twice and did a slight shadow to it. Beautiful. And then we have Raindrops on Roses. Don't know who this is, but they used my bedazzled paper to do it. Can you see the shine and the shimmer? Raindrops on Roses. And here we've mixed a couple. We've got Juliet on the back, and then we've got the set that we used, A Rose is a Rose, on the front. Lovely, isn't it? So she's mixed sets, and she did make this one for Valentine's. And that's Yvette. Oh, Yvette, it looks beautiful. I love it. This one is also Yvette. Oh, I sneak peeked this one. This is out of velvet paper. Ooh, pretty. That's out of velvet paper. And then we had the make and take that we did in the store. This is what we did on Saturday. Today's Sunday. So there's our make and take using the same set we used today. And I'm not sure who this one is, no name, but you did a beautiful job. And here they incorporated the Romeo corner. And they die cut out Thoughts of You. Or no, did they emboss that? No, they embossed it. And you've got the Juliet roses. It's a gorgeous card. And then another one that I sneak peeked. I know this one's Sharon, because she used Vintage Glam on the back to make this card. It's glittery and shimmery and happy, but it's so soft and so subtle. This would be a beautiful anniversary card to somebody. Absolutely beautiful. And then we have Together, again on Vintage Glam. And this one is Kathy. And she used just my black cardstock, 80-pound cardstock, and made this gorgeous card. Beautiful. Then I think this is Doris, and she did just what I said. She painted in some of those flowers in that set. And she used the Congratulations, which cuts out, you've got the stamp and the die to cut out the word congratulations. And then we have Faith, Love, Hope. And again, marrying more than one of the sets in this collection, putting two or three of the sets together, because they are meant to work together. So if you can get two sets, if you can't afford the whole bundle, you're going to find that they coordinate really, really well together, and that you've used your money wisely, because they're not just a one-purpose die or stamp. This one's Doris also. Gorgeous, isn't it? So those are some of the cards. Claire, I know Claire did these. Claire put together 3. Aren't they beautiful? And this time she used glitter. She stamped with our Essentials glue pad and added glitter to the flower. Rose. So pretty. And she made a little trilogy of cards. And then Doris put this one together. So you've got the belly band. Here's one of my dies. You've got the belly band. You've got the beautiful corners coming off of it. Gosh, I hope I can get this all in. And then you open it up. And you've got the most gorgeous card, which actually, it stands. Oh, I wish I could get this all in. I can't. But it stands up. And there's Juliet on the sides, the roses, and then Together in the center. And it's just magnificent. This card is just, it's fabulous. It stands up, and that belly band just fits right over the top. It's gorgeous. Then we get into some of the mixed media. I know Claire did this one, where she's really gone all out for Valentine's and love. And she's stenciled, and she's got the hearts going on, and she's stamped everywhere. How pretty is that? Beautiful. All mixed media. And of course we have got some layouts for you. Look at how beautiful are the layouts. I love the layouts. Oh, I've got 3 layouts. So you've got the frame up top, Raindrops on Roses, and little hearts are raining down. and you've taken elements of Juliet and just used the elements where you wanted them. They didn't use the whole die. They cut the flowers and used the flowers where they wanted them. They used elements of a die. Snipped those out. It's a beautiful layout. Gosh, and I don't know if that's Kathy or who. Here we have another. And this is Doris. This has to be Doris. Yep, Doris. Haha. I was going to say, because that's Fred. I think that's Fred. Yeah, that's Fred. That would be really bad if it wasn't Fred. Okay. And I can't edit that out. I love you, Fred. Okay, so we've got the hearts going on that we were using. And she made just the most beautiful little layout of Fred and her daughter when her daughter was much younger. She's now in college. But such a pretty, pretty layout. Not Valentine's at all, but the roses really, the heart roses really look beautiful in it. I love the heart roses. They look gorgeous in it. And then our last layout. Oh, this is also Doris. This has to be Doris. I think this is Doris. Yes, Katie. Okay, Katie and Ariel at Disneyland. And again, you've got the hearts, and she used the corners here and made a coral looking element to it because of course we're talking about Ariel. She's got the heart coming off, and she made the little tags to go in, again using my dies. Super cute. Really darling. And then they fit right back in the pocket, and the pocket is made out of one of my dies. Boy, Doris, you packed a punch in this one. The whole pocket is made using one of my dies. Love Story, they had a good time playing with Love Story. Here is Miss Belinda and her, let's see how I'm gonna get this in here without it turning colors. So she's got a tray going on. She's got Together in there. She's got Juliet out of glitter up here. She's got Love Story stamped down there. Oh, maybe that's it. And it's just beautiful on a beautiful, probably dollar store tray. So cute. And then last but not least is also Belinda. And when I saw this, I'm hoping I can get this in. When I saw this, I said, oh my gosh. Okay, so she took a dollar store vase. This is a dollar store vase down here, and she painted it. Literally a dollar store vase. And then she started to decorate. But do you want to know what this is right here? This is an eyeglass case. Oh my gosh, it's an eyeglass case. You've got Juliet going here, you've got Together there, you've got the hearts that we were using today, you've got everything in this, and it's just, how cute is this? Is a centerpiece. And the eyeglass case, I know Belinda, if she paid more than $1 for it, I would be shocked. She is the queen of being able to find things and multi-purpose them into magnificent. That's just, this whole piece just speaks volumes for her talent. It's amazing. And she was able to incorporate quite a bit of my dies in there. So bless your pea picking heart, Belinda. All right. So that is that is the collection. That is Love Story. I hope you like it. I hope you learned a little bit about Perfect Pearl, because really, Perfect Pearls are so much fun to use. 32 colors. You can use them wet, you can use them dry, easy peasy. Where are you gonna get all of this product from? Scrapbookingmadesimple.com. Just remember, my dies are limited. When they're gone, they're gone. So if you love them and you want them, then get them. Even if you choose the pay later option, get them, because then they're reserved for you. But when they're gone, they're gone. And I know people want that reindeer die I did for Christmas and the snowman die. And if any become available, if anybody's orders cancel or whatever, they'll go back online. But even if you have to choose the pay later, so that a little bit later on when the invoice comes, you pay for it. Get them now while we still have them. The Perfect Pearls will be on a YouTube Yummy. My dies will be in there. My papers, because I used my Simply Defined papers for all of this, that'll all be in there, as will the Stacy tape. All right, you guys, it's me. It's been long, but it's been fun. Merry Christmas to all of you, and I will see you maybe before New Year's. We'll see. All right, you guys. Happy holidays. Bye-bye.